Hopefully all you guys are having a pretty good weekend, but the only way a good weekend can end up being a great weekend, I shouldn't even have to finish that sentence, you never had your car. It's with some solid Week 10 Sunday sniffs. Now, the last time we talked, it's been a few days. We checked in before Thursday Night Football. I said, you don't have to watch the Bears play the Panthers. All you got to do, toss a little over on Chuba Hubbard receiving yards and call it quits. All right, you want another one? Okay, well, I don't trust guys in their 30s on the field and in life because the production declines on multiple fronts. So I bet against Adam Thielen. That one came true. And here we are, it's Sunday, and I'm looking at a full slate. Now, when we're looking at a slate on a Sunday, you know where I'm going to start, my North Star, and that's Kyle Shanahan. You know how I picked those 49er bets. On Friday, on Francess and Friends, I was talking to Aton. It was before that, actually. And my early sniff in the week is that San Fran is going to take out 3-4 weeks of frustrations, like a guy in jail who hasn't been on a date with the first person that they're with afterward. Now, the 49ers are taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are a very good team, but my early sniff on the week was saying it's San Francisco time. So while I still think San Fran's going to win this game, I'll take San Fran to win this game, but more specifically, here's what we got going into that bye, and that was Brock Purdy throwing multiple interceptions. So do you want to know what they're going to do? Do you? Who's the guy who throws or who catches passes behind the line of scrimmage and then just takes them for first downs? Who's the guy who catches passes that just can't be intercepted? And who do you think they're going to get easy completions to for Brock Purdy to build up his confidence post-bye after the... Yes, that is right. It's Deebo Samuel, the guy who missed the previous few games, who was a full participant in practice all week, and in my opinion, on the first drive especially, is going to rack up a couple of easy catches behind the line of scrimmage. One of my favorite bets, if not my favorite bet, is the Deebo Samuel over on receiving yards and over on receptions, which is in the plus money already. But obviously, you know I will be happy to take the alt on Deebo Samuel. And you can even do an alt on rushing and receiving 75 plus, and you'll get a nice plus money piece of that. What do you want to go to 100? You want to get crazy? You want to get nuts? As Keaton has now said twice in 2 separate movies, let's get nuts. Let's go 100 rushing and receiving all total for Deebo Samuel. But I do like the Niners to win in that game. Now, we got a team. Both of these teams made us money when we bet against the Rams. I've already told you how the Rams were living on that week 1 reputation all season. But my God, are these Green Bay Packers pretty bad? Or do they at least seem pretty bad? So what I'm going to do in this game, I'll do the same thing. You know, the other night on Thursday Night Football, by the way, I said I'm okay taking the Bears. I don't like anything over 3. Well, that served us right. Similarly, I do like Pittsburgh to win this game. Something's rubbing me wrong about that even 3. I don't know what it is, but the good news is I have other things that I like. I'll take Pittsburgh to win. I want that over 12.5 rushing attempts for Najee Harris. You think I'm a fan of the guy? I understand he looks like a bunch of Lincoln Logs running out there. But regardless, they still give him the opportunities. And in a game where, you know, look at the spread, it's projected to be within a score, you know Tomlin's going to keep running. They will keep handing it off and handing it off and handing it off. And I believe 12.5 is actually a pretty low number for Najee Harris. So I'll take the Steelers to win with the over on Najee Harris rushing attempts, because obviously if they're in a position where they're continuing to run, they're probably leading. I have no faith in Jordan Love on the road at Pittsburgh, where they have a pretty good defense. I will take Pittsburgh in that game. And I'm also going to take the over on Najee Harris rushing yards. It's a pretty low total. I understand Lincoln Logs running, but the Packers' run defense can be exposed. And also in that game, I'm a fan of this player. We were on him last week. He hit the alt over for us. But now that they've bumped up his total, I won't maybe go alt on it, but I will take the over on Deontay Johnson receiving yards. So in that game, just to recap, I like the Steelers to win. I like the over on Najee Harris rushing attempts, the over on Najee Harris rushing yards, and then the over for Deontay Johnson on receiving. A bunch of things that I like right there in that game. Let's go to one of the 4 o'clock games that I got a couple of sniffs in, and that is the Arizona Cardinals. They're hosting the Atlanta Falcons. Here's what I know, and I talked about this when evaluating some DFS plays for the week. Early last season, before DeAndre Hopkins came back, look how Kyler Murray operated that offense. Granted, Cliff Kingsbury was still there at the time. So you do have to potentially factor in, slightly different offense. It might not look that way, but this guy peppered Marquise Brown with targets, and he peppered Zach Ertz with targets. You couple the fact that he's coming off the torn ACL. How many guys first game back from a torn ACL are running all over the field? My answer is going to be not many, and I don't think Kyler Murray is going to be running around like that cockroach version of him where he was just, you could never catch the guy, like Tom and Jerry. So I think Marquise Brown, Trey McBride, and James Conner are getting peppered with targets. For James Conner, you give me the over 2.5 catches. For McBride and Marquise Brown, you give me the overs on their receiving yards, because I don't think Kyler Murray's running. I don't think he's running. I'm not doing it to the point where I have to take the under on his rushing yards, but I don't foresee this guy running around. I foresee him sitting in the shotgun, getting it out of his hand, and then that's going to be it. So those are the 3 I like in that game. And it's all predicated on Kyler Murray basically staying back there and just getting it out of his hand quickly. I think that's how they're going to approach that game. We will see, but those are some of the ones that I like right there. Now let's go down there to Tampa, where we're going to check in on Will Levis, who he's a slinger. He's slinging that ball around, and unfortunately, that concussion happened to Treylon Burks last week. They really got one target hog, and that's DeAndre Hopkins, and they're playing a team. Did you see what CJ Stroud just did to that Buccaneers secondary? Did you see what happened the week before that when they played the Bills in prime time? I understand this is Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans offensive line and skill position players, but still, when there's a team with a good run defense like Tampa Bay has, and a poor secondary like Tampa Bay has, and a quarterback who's willing to sling it like Will Levis is, give me the over on those DeAndre Hopkins receiving yards. The total isn't that crazy, so I think I'll be taking that, the over on DeAndre Hopkins receiving yards, along with the 75 plus in the, my coveted alt over section. And then lastly, it's now or never for Tony Pollard. Either Tony Pollard is having a good week this week, or maybe it's just not going to happen. Josh Jacobs, everybody's been waiting all season for. And he plays the Giants, they get him to 100 rushing yard. If Tony Pollard doesn't hit his over like 66, we got a serious problem, but I'm taking him to hit that. I think they're going to make it a point for Tony Pollard to get there, even if it's a blowout. I'm not kidding. I think that they will make sure he gets there. Give me the over on Tony Pollard rushing, and yes, give me over 100 plus rushing. The massive alt over. I know it's like 35 yards more than his projected rushing total, but give me the 100 plus for Tony Pollard. And that is what I have for you here on this Sunday. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. I got news for you. Anything you want to bet today, you can do it risk-free at Caesars, up to $1,000 as long as you're a new user over at Caesars. You just got to be over 21 and located in a state or province where sports betting is permitted. Anyone, you want that 100 plus rushing for Tony Pollard, you put $1,000 on it, huge plus money, you lose, you get that back in free bonus bets. And always just remember, though, if you got a gambling problem, or anybody you know has a gambling problem, you call 1-800-GAMBLER, all right? I will talk to you guys tomorrow for Monday Night Football. Make sure you subscribe to the channel here, and I will talk to you then.